My name is Mira. Usually, I am peeling away the clutter from my house and from my life. In this video, you'll see that I'm struggling a bit. But before we get to that part, let's go back to the beginning. I'm 5 months into a decluttering journey, but 2 months into a grieving journey. I've been struggling to get back in track on after the holidays. I've had some good days, but I've had some other days too. I drove past a burger joint that was advertising corn dogs for $1.50. That was Cupid's favorite food. Whew, sorry, this is one of those videos. I guess we're gonna go some places. So brace yourselves. I thought I'd tackle this cabinet because I have lots of mugs and cups, and honestly, I don't use mugs. So how hard could it be, right? Always famous last words. I bought a few mugs back in my college days before I realized I didn't really use mugs. Most of them have been given to me. I've also got a lot of wine glasses and other things that I thought, this is a really cool shape, but honestly, I just don't use them. There's a jar that I thought I would let go, but then I decided maybe I would use that for candle making. It is kind of a big jar though, so maybe I'm going to let it go after all. Then I came across some other mugs that go with plates that I own. Plates and saucers. And I think if I want to keep the plates, shouldn't I keep the mugs? And I know it shouldn't be this hard of a decision, but I'm getting hung up on it. So help me out here. But I realize that I'm not going to have someone come to my door and arrest me saying, we are the matching police and you have committed the heinous crime of getting rid of the mugs even though you kept the plates. I know this, but I still just kind of threw my hands up and walked away and then slipped into depression. I was diagnosed with depression as a teenager. It's just been a constant presence in my life. When I'm feeling well, depression is this entity that has a few fingers resting on my back just to say, hey, I am here. And most of the time I'm just like, okay, you're here, whatever, I got stuff to do. Then there are other times where depression isn't happy with that and it just kind of sucks me into its embrace like a blanket, but it's the most uncomfortable blanket ever. It's suffocating and you wish you could get free and just burn it, but you know that even if you do, it'll come back. Sometimes there are reasons that it shows up and other times it feels like it just is kind of random. There's not always a reason for it. And depression weakens you. It makes you so tired. You don't want to do anything. And I decided if I'm going to be brave enough to show you my crazy mess that's my house, I'm going to show you the crazy mess that's inside too. I know that there are people out there watching this who are going through the same thing or going through other mental health struggles, other health struggles. I want you to know that you are not alone. If I could snap my fingers and one of my issues would go away, I would choose depression without a doubt. I'd keep the anxiety, I'd keep the ADD, I'd keep the health issues if I could just have depression go away. The thing about depression is that it fights dirty. It will lie to you and tell you that no one loves you. You're not even lovable. There's no hope for you. You should give up. And those are some of the more tame things. Sometimes people ask, why do you have all these things? There's no real easy answer to that. But one of the answers is if I didn't have stuff, I would just be alone with my depression. And that is an absolutely terrifying place to be. In the past, I've coped by getting stuff. And that's still my initial thought when I get low like this. What can I buy to get that dopamine hit? It's not pretty, but it's real. And there are certain levels where I can think more logically and where I can say, okay, where are you going to put this? If you buy this thing, where are you going to put it? This is my big question nowadays, because space is a commodity right now. But there are times when I feel so low that anything that I can do to get out of it, I do. I try not to judge myself when I go to those places and buy a tarot deck I don't need, or a new t-shirt when I have 70,000, because I'm on a journey like everyone else. And honestly, when it comes to this decluttering journey and seeing stuff in a different way, I'm a baby. Or maybe I'm a toddler, and that just makes it worse. Don't get me wrong, toddlers are really cute, but they have a lot to learn. And I definitely still do too. Side note for the record, you're not allowed to worry about me. I have a depression scale, and I'm at the not well stage. And at that stage, I will accept mild concern. However, the worry is only allowed once we get to very bad on the scale. I'm sharing this so that other people who don't experience it can understand it a little more, maybe. And for those who do experience it, can know that they're not alone. Sometimes it's a day-to-day struggle. Sometimes it's an hour-to-hour struggle. Last January, this seems to happen in January, I watched a dance video by Young from ATEEZ several times a day for about 3 weeks. And that's what got me through. This time around, I decided to craft my way out of this, and I need to go for supplies. Hello and welcome. We are at a thrift store. Yep, I'm a decluttering channel, and I'm taking you all to the thrift store. I want to do a project to honor Cupid, and I thought I would look at some picture frames. Picture frames are kind of expensive. I need one that is 8x10 and one that is 5x7. I got distracted by stuff because I have ADD, so I looked at this little gold sleigh and thought that could be cute, but I'm not here to buy that. Here are the frames that I've seen so far, but that guy was in the way, so time to go look around at other stuff. There was a time when I would have bought a lot of stuff. I would have come to the thrift store, lost myself in it. Another sleigh. Why was I drawn to sleighs? I don't know. I thought, well, maybe one of these frames could work, but yeah, no. And then I came across this gem, collect moments, not things, which is a great sentiment, but it just is funny to me that it's on something that you purchase. I thought there might be something here that worked. So I'm just looking around, seeing the options. Thought maybe this one, but no, it looked a little broken. And yeah, they definitely had lots of seasonal decor for, recently past seasons. Halloween, autumn, fall. I grabbed this item. It's a tray, and I thought maybe I could do something with that. I don't know why it had a mouse trap on it. I don't know. I thought this might work for a different project, but I think it might be too big. So I'm going to wait until I have the item that I can see right there. And now I'm going back, and there's no one at the frame, so I can look at them all. And yeah, I was hoping to find some smaller ones, but they're all pretty huge. I came across this one and thought, oh, maybe I could use this for something. And then wiser heads prevailed, and I thought, come on now. You're not trying to redo your entire house. But I did come across this frame. It is an 8x10. It's got some chips. But, I can work with that maybe. I really wanted frames that were, not like plastic and flimsy. I wanted wood and a little bit more solid. And then I came across this, which is a little pink ceramic house, which could match my pink Christmas decor. Sorry, y'all. I did get that. It was $1. And yeah, but I put the tray back. So I left that store, went to another one. And here I found a nice 5x7 frame. And they had a much bigger selection of smaller frames, which I was definitely happy about. And this was an 8x10, so I grabbed that one. I found some other nice ones, but I just was like trying to stay focused on what my task was. Again, I'm not trying to retail therapy my way out of this. And the truth is, as I was looking around, especially at the first store, I just kept thinking, like, the vast emptiness that I am feeling inside is not going to be filled with anything I could buy at the thrift store. I used to feel like I could, but I know better now. So I stayed focused on my task. I found another 5x7. That one wasn't as sturdy as the others, but I did like the fact that it had rounded corners. So I left both stores, bought one frame and that pink decor at the first one, bought 3 frames at the second one. I call that pretty good. Spent about $10 altogether. And I call that pretty good. Now it's time to leave and get to the fun part, which is crafting. So here's the thing. My craft room is a hot mess right now, so I don't really have a place to do crafting. So I'm going to use my kitchen table, but I really want to make sure that it stays in good shape. So I have this plastic tablecloth that I put on top of it. Not trying to be Gollum or anything, but this table is precious to me. It's a gift from Bonnie and her subscribers, and I love it so much. So anyway, precious. All right, before I get started on the actual frame, I figure I might as well work on another project. I have a ring holder and a bracelet holder, and I really like the color of the ring holder, but the bracelet holder is just very plain wood, and wood's not a bad thing, but it's not that interesting kind of wood either. So anyway, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the main part white, and then I will paint the part that you hang the bracelets on that gray. Here's the thing about crafting for me is it's really great because I'm able to just let go of everything else in my mind. I just stop worrying about the fact that I am still grieving. I stop worrying about the fact that I can't seem to declutter mugs that I don't use. It's not like this project requires like a bunch of brain power. Like I'm not sitting there thinking great thoughts. I mean, all I'm doing is holding the object and painting it. But for some reason, just the act of putting my hands on something and trying to change it and make it different allows my brain, my worry brain, to just kind of shut off. It just is like the off button, and I really like that. I'm going to do a couple of coats of white and see how that works. And yeah, I'm really sorry. Part of the first part of the painting that I did on the frame was out of the video. So unfortunately, I don't have that, but you'll see the rest. And I'm just doing one side of each of these pieces at a time. I'm going to do the other side later. Letting it dry in between. I did this over several days, and I really just did 20 minutes at a time maybe. But I love this, and it reminded me that I don't craft enough. I know part of it is because of the state of my room, but I really just, whether it's a mess, I need to do some kind of crafting on a regular basis. It's a kind of self-care that I don't get in any other way. I think it's just a way to live in the moment. The only thing that exists while I'm crafting is me and whatever the project is that I'm working on. There's just nothing else. It's something that depression just can't penetrate. So I need to make it a regular part of my week. It's a great way to get some relief from depression and anxiety and all of my worries. I certainly have enough projects to work on to keep me busy. There's plenty to do. Now, with this frame, I had an idea in mind. I wanted to have one color on the inside and another color on the outside, or around the edge, I guess. As I was painting, I started to feel like maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. I'm not planning this. Sometimes I have plans and sometimes plans go awry. I don't know though. That's the thing about crafting, is that when things go ways that you don't expect, it's just an excuse to be more creative. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's just something about even problems that come up in crafting that just inspire me and keep me going. Speaking of which, I decided to just keep going with this color scheme for now, and I'll figure it out as I go. If I want to do something else, then I'll do something else. And now it's time for the other side of these projects. Just gonna go ahead, turn it over, and start anew. Another new day. I'm staying pretty focused on crafting. I'm ignoring the whole mug situation. I don't have the time, or well, it's not the time, it's the energy. I don't have the energy and the brain energy to work on it. They've sat for this long. They can sit for a while longer. And I find that after I craft, I'm able to return to everything else, everything outside of crafting, with fresh energy, maybe even a fresh mindset. At least a little bit of relief, we'll put it that way. Okay, it's time to start on the gray. And the gray that I have was a little bit too dark, so I just am going to mix it with white to get the right shade that I want. And I'm going to go ahead and start on these little arms of the bracelet holder. And then I'm going to put it next to that ring holder to make sure that it matches. And I think it does. So they're gonna look good together, I think. I'm excited to finish them off and put them together. But I would love to hear if you have activities that you do where your brain just kind of shuts off. The worry brain shuts off, and you're able to really step out of that frame of mind and just live in the moment and experience the moment. I want to hear what does that for you. Please share in the comments. I want to hear. That's something I really envy about my dogs. Is the ability to live in the moment. They just live in the moment. They don't worry about other stuff. And I wish I could be like that more often. I just need to get a crafting job. Anyone want to pay me to craft? I think there'd be a lot of competition for that kind of job. There was just something really satisfying, though, about seeing this turn from just very light beige to that pale gray. I don't know. There's something really nice about it. Made my brain happy. But as I painted away, I started thinking about that frame that was back at the thrift store that had all of the 5x7 openings in it. And I thought, maybe I could do something with that. Maybe I should have gotten it. And I was like, girl, no. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. It just wouldn't leave my mind. So I started thinking, okay, let's say I go back and get it. What would I do with it? And I was like, well, I don't know, but I'd put it right by the back door. So, okay, I was like, that's a good sign that if you get something, I'm trying to be in a headspace where I know where it's going to go. And then I thought, well, what would make you happy to see there, to put in those openings? And I started thinking about the scrapbook page I made to honor 10,000 subscribers to this channel. And I started thinking about all of the people who come here and watch me Even though I feel like a train wreck sometimes, at least I'm an entertaining train wreck. I don't know. But I wanted to do something that would represent the community somehow. And I thought about all the comments that I love from people who talk about how they watched one of my videos and they were inspired to clean their closet or go through some of their papers, and how other people talk about how my words help them somehow. And then I realized something. What I love about this community and the things that make this community great aren't something that can be captured or represented in a bunch of 5x7 frames, even though it's a fairly big frame, 1,200 strong, and that just can't be represented in a frame. And I also thought, so every time I want to see this, I'm going to have to stand up and go over to the back door. Nah, I don't want to do that. And I remembered I'm a scrapbooker. I have lots of scrapbooking supplies. And I have stacks of these pocket page cards. And I am going to put them to use. You know how knitters will often have a little bag that they carry around with them when they go places? I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to find a little tote that I can get that will hold my supplies, and so I can easily get them out when I want and put them away in some organized fashion when I'm done. So now when I see a comment that really touches me, I can get it printed, put it on a card, and put it in my scrapbook. I'd also love to find a way where we could all share our pictures of our decluttered spaces with each other as a community. So if you know of any ideas for that, that would be amazing. Feel free to share. I think it could be so fun. I don't know if maybe a Pinterest board or something might work. I don't know. Help me out, younger folks, and those of you who are better at these newfangled systems than I am. I love how a picture frame that I couldn't stop thinking about turned into a completely separate project that I'm excited about, that gives me energy, makes me want to do something besides lay around and be depressed. There is a time for that. There are times when I do feel like I just need to take time and let myself feel those sad feelings and low moments. But I don't want to stay there, and I tend to get stuck there sometimes. So I'm glad about this. I'm glad. And maybe I can take a step up from not doing well. I'm definitely doing a lot better than I was when I started this video. And I'm excited. These projects are going pretty well, and I will get them wrapped up here very slowly but surely. I'm closing in on the end of these projects, which is very nice. I had a little setback though. I went to put these back together, and before I did that, I moved the glass pane out of the way, and yeah, I cut myself, so I got some blood on one of these pieces. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover up the blood with acrylic paint. It's very easy. It will be just fine. It's funny funny to me how first I'm like, I must take care of the craft. It was only after I did that that I went and, cleaned the wound and put on a Band-Aid. So it shows you my priorities. But anyway, that is done. And now I just need to finish the frame. I've got one more layer or one more side to do. And yeah, I love how those look together now. They look like they fit. Where before it looked very much like two separate pieces. And now, yeah, they look good. So I'm just covering up the dark side of the frame, mixing together my paint so that it's the right shade, because I want it to be light enough to coordinate with the other two pieces. As I look at it though, I feel like it's still a little plain for my taste. I found these beads that I want to try on it. So I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this last layer of paint, and then I'm going to call it good for now. I'm gonna put a pause on it. Let's put it that way. And then we will be finished. Okay. Here we are. I am going ahead and adding the glass, and that's when I realize I haven't painted the back. Okay, yeah. And that's kind of like me. I do my best, but, every now and then one side of me is a little bit off kilter. That's okay. We're going to put a pause on it for now. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks good. So I'm going to go ahead, remove some stickers off of these. I didn't get a chance to paint this one. I still plan to. I think that larger 8x10, I'm going to probably just send it back to the thrift store. And luckily, there was no damage done to my table. That was what I was hoping for with that whole plastic sheet thing. Yay for that, but I will definitely be glad to clear off my crafting space because I don't really care if that gets messed up. This table, I don't want to mess up the surface of this one. And now that we've done this, let's finish the mugs. That's where we started. So let's finish it off. I came back to the mugs and said, okay, let's set aside any ideas of keeping mugs together with their plates and just let go of what you think needs to be let go of. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and keep the mugs that are a little bit bigger. They have the green lip around the top. And every now and then I do have guests that come over, and I thought it might as well let them have something to drink out of. So I'm keeping those, letting go of the ones that are pink. I put that large jar in for donation because I don't think I'll make a candle that's that big. I'll use smaller jars for that when I get there. And why not just go ahead and clear off what I've got here too. Now, that yellow candle holder that's on the table is going to stay for now just because it's a set of 3. So when I find the other 2, I'll let them all go together. So here are the mugs before. My cups and mugs. And here they are after. And pretty good. Set me on a meltdown at first. Now here is the before of that bracelet holder, and there is the after. I like it. It's gonna look nice in my bedroom when I make space for those. All right, and now the mugs are going out to the car. And there's my little inspector. I love that boy. He's so good. This isn't all though. I'm coming back for another box. Several people mentioned that they like seeing me take stuff out. So I'm going to try and do that more. I'm not always going to be able to take you with me to the thrift store because I do that when I have a full trunk is how that works. But I'm going to take you today. Here we go over to the thrift store. Should have worn better shoes there. Took it over to Goodwill and I'm dropping off my mugs, glasses, and I didn't break any either. I tried to be really careful as I was driving because I don't want to just drop off a bunch of broken glass. In the next video, I'll either be back in the bedroom or helping out at my mom's. A lot of things need to be gone through there. This postscript is for you. The person who is struggling so much that they've given up on their hair. The person whose hair is a matted mess right now, and it's so matted that they don't know what to do. I want you to know that you matter. You matter so much. You aren't a horrible person for letting this happen. You're just someone who's suffering. And I want you to know that I love you and I understand that suffering. When I'm depressed, the first real sign of it is my hair. I'm brushing it out today. It's not too bad today, but it's been very bad on other days in past times. If that's you, don't judge yourself and say, how could I have let it get to this point? Nothing matters but right now. Nothing matters but what you can change. And all you can change is right now. Work on it a little at a time. Ask a family member or a loving friend to help you. And know that you matter. I see you and I love you.